Back in Victory Lane, second race winner, Atlantic Sire Stakes, Meridian Farms, 3-year-old trot going to 5, Buddy White. A bay colt by Armbro Barrister out of the Garland Lobel Dam, highly organized, was bred by Meridian Farms, now owned by Blaine White of Bell River PEI, trained by Stephen Gass and driven by Corey McPherson. Buddy White trotting in 2:03 4/5. Roseanne Langell trackside on behalf of the Lennox Tenderbird Breeders, making the blanket presentation. Here's how they finished in the second race. Number 1, Ocean View Mini, 5th. 2, Ocean View Tadpole, 3rd. 3, Parkdale, 4th. 4, Osprey Delta, 6th. 5, Buddy White, the winner. And 6, Westover Cindy, 2nd. 31 4, the quarter, half 104 2. 3/4, 135, the mile, 203 4. From the top, your card should read 534612. 562 try in race 2, $12.60. The 5-6 exactor, $4.50. Third race, second 2-year-old trot division. No changes in race 3. Post time in less than 8 minutes. Two-year-old trotters out of the racetrack now for the third race. The one entry will be delayed in post parade. From post 2, Ocean View Howl, owned by Robbie Smallwood, Cyril Harvey, and Debbie Francis. Henry Smallwood driving. Brian McPhee's aboard number 3, B.J. Santana, owner Robert Honcoop. Ya Boy Bear from post 4, owned by Michael Bailey, Walter Chevrolet at the controls. Joe Baxter driving number 5, Windermere Barrister. owned by Gregory Francis and Jennifer Baxter. Sixth, Little Miss Winnie, owned by Stephen Suri, Kenny Arsenault up. And Paul Morrison owns and drives number 7, Mile High Willie. Post time for the third in 5 minutes. Now on the track and parading is the one entry Jarrett's Courage. Gary Chappell driving for owners Jarrett Donington and ICR Racing. Final call to wager on tonight's third race. 1 minute to post time. Just a reminder to those who purchased 50 tickets here last Friday evening, it has yet to be claimed. It was worth $350. And that winning ticket number was 9348968. That was from last Friday's 50-50 draw. Has yet to be claimed. And if you have the winning ticket, you have until tonight's fifth race to claim last Friday's 50-50 winning ticket. If it is not claimed by the fifth race official, the $350 will go into tonight's 50-50 draw. Again, the winning ticket from last Friday was 934-8968. Home Hardware Building Center starting gates in motion for the third race. 2-year-old trotters are lining up. Third race of the evening, Atlantic Sire Stakes, Meridian Farms, 2-year-old trot, Jarrett's Courage, Ocean View Howl, BJ Santana, Yeah Boy Bear, Windermere Barrister, Little Miss Winnie, and Mile High Willie from the outside 7. They're off and trotting. Yeah Boy Bear away quickly. Will grab the early lead from the outside. Little Miss Winnie trots away second. Then on the outside third. That is Windermere Barrister looking for a spot at the rail. Inside, off stride there. Went Windermere Barrister as the Trotters head into the backstretch for time one. And taking over the lead as they head to the opening quarter is Little Miss Winnie. Yeah, Boy Bear is trotting in the 2 spot. And off stride there in 3. That is B.J. Santana. Moving up on the inside, Ocean View Howl is now trotting into the 3 spot. And at 4th on the inside is Mile High Willie. They were past the opening quarter in a snappy 30 1/5 second as the 2-year-old Trotters head past the 3/8 and off the top turn. Little Miss Winnie on the front end. Yeah, Boy Bear is in pursuit. Second, Ocean View Howl is trotting along in the 3 spot. 4th, that is Mile High Willie as they move up past the halfway marker. Back down trotting, and in the 5 spot past the half is Windermere Barrister. Further on back is B.J. Santana, and at the back of the field is Jared's Courage off stride again. As they trot into the lower turn, they head now to the 5/8, and up front, it's still Little Miss Winnie with the lead. Yeah, Boy Bear is taken to the outside as second. Up into the 3 spot is Mile High Willie as the Trotters head into the backstretch. Final time on their way to the 3/4. Out front, Little Miss Winnie still with the lead. Yeah, Boy Bear 3 parts of a length back second. Then on the inside, Ocean View Howl has moved up, looking to take over third as they race now to the 7/8. 1:03 and 2 was the half. 3/4 and 1:35 and 1, and holding the lead is Little Miss Winnie by half a length. Yeah, Boy Bear is inching into the outside as second. Far outside, off stride third, went Mile High Willie. Ocean View Howl now inherits third. On down the stretch they come. Yeah, Boy Bear on the outside, and the inside, Little Miss Winnie. Yeah, Boy Bear up to win it. Second, Little Miss Winnie, and Ocean View Howl gets third. Now in Victory Lane is the winner of the second division of the Atlantic Sire Stakes, Meridian Farms 2-year-old trot, number 4, Yeah Boy Bear. Big Elliott son of Delcrest Julian. Out of the Pistons and Spurs dam, Diana Carr. Was bred by Michael Bailey and Ambrose Leibold, owned by Michael Bailey of Morel PEI, trained by Beau Ford, driven by Walter Chevrolet. Yeah Boy Bear winning his life's debut in 2:04 and 4/5. Here is the complete rundown of race 3. Number 1, Jared's Courage, 6th. 2, Ocean View Howell, 3rd. And 3, BJ Santana, 7. 4, Yeah Boy Bear, the winner. 5, Windermere Barrister, 4th. 6, Little Miss Winnie, 2nd. And 7, Mile High Willie was 5th. Fractions, 30 and a fifth, the quarter, half, 103 and 2, 3/4 and 135 and 1. The mile for Yeah Boy Bear, 2:04 and 4/5. In review from the top, your card is 6371425. Triactor in the third race, 4-6-2 combination, $38.60. The 4-6 exactor, $10.60. The early double, 5-4 combination, $2.20. Fourth race coming up, no changes in race 4. Post time in 8 minutes. Entries coming out of the racetrack for the fourth race. Condition pace for now winners of 1 and 2 races lifetime. Number 1 is Rowdy Ronda over the Salzburg Stables and Michael McKenzie. Todd Treitz at the helm. Euless Gallant driving number 2 Cocan Johnny T for Leo Gallant. Can't Catch Caden is the 3 owned by Kingsley Walsh. Dale Spence at the helm. Robert Laughlin for the Ultimate Stable, aboard number 4, Love in Paradise. The 5, Silver Hill King, owned by Don Ellis Abbott, Darren Crowup. Jim Whalen, owner of 6, Laughavile, Dave Carey drives. Paul Treves owns and drives number 7, Salzburg Flicka. And from post 8, All Country, owned by Michelle Patrick and Ernie Laughlin, will do the driving. 6 minutes to fourth race post, the Fred Lauthers Memorial. Please note here in the fourth race, there is 20-cent superfecta wagering now available. It will start tonight in the fourth race. Superfecta wagering available on race 4, 20-cent supers. Only 3 minutes to fourth race post. Now to 2 minutes, 2 to post time. Please note in tonight's 8th race, we have a late scratch in race 8. Number 5, Mortal Kombat, has been scratched lame. Race 8, scratch 5, Mortal Kombat. Final call to make your selections on the 4th race. Only a minute, 1 minute to post. It's post time for the fourth race. Home Hardware Building Center starting gates in motion. Fourth race of the evening, the Fred Lauthers Memorial has Rally Rhonda, Cocan Johnny T, Can't Catch Caden, Love in Paradise, Silver Hill King, Laugh a Mile, Salzburg Flicka, and All Country. They are off and pacing. Silver Hill King emerging with the early lead. Driving out is Love in Paradise. Down on the inside, that is Rally Rhonda. They're caught 4 wide on the extreme outside. That is All Country battling for the early lead as they head into the backstretch for time 1. Rally Rhonda at the rail on the far outside, and now backing off is All Country. And up on the limb, that is Love in Paradise. Now looking to take over as they arrive at that opening quarter. Love in Paradise. Rowdy Rhonda on the inside holds rail advantage second. Then dropping into the 3 spot is All Country. Silver Hill King relegated to the 4 hole as they race on past the 3/8. Back out the rail and racing in 5. That's Salzburg Flicka, followed in 6 by Can't Catch Caden. 29 seconds was the quarter. Inquiry sign has been posted as they make the turn and race into the stretch, approaching the halfway point. Love in Paradise out of the pocket comes Rowdy Rhonda looking to reclaim as they arrive at the halfway marker. Rowdy Rhonda the outside at the rail is Love in Paradise. All Country is locked up in the box third. Now to the outside in 4. That is Silver Hill King. Salzburg Flicka third over from 5th. Inside and racing in 6. That's Can't Catch Caden. Then 7th on the outside for Cocan Johnny T, and up the back Laugh a Mile. Silver Hill King is sent 3 wide after Love in Paradise as they continue into the backstretch. Silver Hill King is now forging to the top. Love in Paradise back second. All Country on the inside is up to 3rd. Rowdy Rhonda dropping back 4th up on the outside and driving now 3 high into 3rd. That is Salzburg Flicka, but Silver Hill King is the one to catch. Drawing clear by 3. Love in Paradise trying to hang in second. 3rd, that's Salzburg Flicka. 3/4 in 1:30 and 3. They make the final turn and they're all in pursuit of Silver Hill King, who's opened up a 5-length advantage as they drive to the payoff. Well back, Love in Paradise second, Salzburg Flicka third. It's all Silver Hill King here in the 4th. Salzburg Flicka closing second, and holding for 3rd is Love in Paradise. Judges' inquiry underway here in the 4th race, looking at the racing action in the first turn. Hold on to all tickets. Inquiry underway. Judges have ruled no violations were committed in the fourth race. Back in victory lane, the winner of the fourth race, the Fred Lowthers Memorial, number 5 Silver Hill King, 4-year-old brown gelding by Proven Lover, out of the I Am a Fool Dam Bam Bam Moore. Owned by Don Ellis Abbott, trained by Darren Crow and driven by Darren, Silver Hill King, pacing to a lifetime best of 2 minutes and 2/5. Going over the fourth race, presented in memory of the late Fred Lowthers, longtime horse owner and breeder. Members of the Lowthers family and friends are gathered trackside making the presentation. Fourth race is official. 1 Rowdy Rhonda, 8 Toucan Can Johnny T 5th, 3 Can Catch Caden 4th, 4 Love and Paradise 3rd, 5 Silver Hill King the winner, 6 Laugh a Mile 7, 7 Salzburg Flicka 2nd, 8 All Country 6th. 29 seconds the quarter, half a minute 1/5, 3/4, 1:30 and 3 the mile, 2 minutes and 2/5. New lifetime best for Silver Hill King. For the top, your card reads 854-31726. 574 try, 2270. 57 exactor, 2270. Superfecta, $1. 57 all, 975. Upcoming in the fifth race, 3-year-old trot. No changes in race 5. Post time in 8 minutes. Here now is the field for the fifth race, Atlantic Sire Stakes, Meridian Farms 3-year-old trot, second division. One is Dusty Lane Amber by Ralph Adair, Jack Penting, and Stephen Surrey. Jack Penting drives. Westview Dixie is the 2, Corey McPherson for James Gorman. The 3 is Dora. Brian McPhee will drive for owners Warren McKinnon, Erden Mofford, and David Mercer. Jim Ripley aboard the 4, a Giant Gilroy, owned by Marilee Ripley. Boyd McDonald Produce Limited and Daniel Ross, the owners of 5, a Pure Heart, with Danny McDonald driving. And Ocean View Eunomia is the 6, Kenny Arsenault for Bill Rollison. Fifth race post in 6 minutes. Less than 3 minutes to fifth race post. Now less than 2 minutes, less than 2. Final call at the windows, less than 1 minute. It's post time for the fifth race. 3-year-old trotters moving in behind the Home Hardware Building Center starting gate. Fifth race of the evening, Atlantic Sire Stakes, Meridian Farms, 3-year-old trot, purse of $6,220, Dusty Lane Amber. Westview Dixie, Dora, Giant Gilroy, A Pure Heart, and Ocean View Eunomia. They're off and trotting. Giant Gilroy will get the first call. A Pure Heart up on the outside, and down at the rail, that's Dusty Lane Amber. Into the first turn, Giant Gilroy quickly takes charge. Away at the rail, Dusty Lane Amber will sit in the 2-spot off stride. There went A Pure Heart. Parked on the outside and trotting along in 3 as they move into the backstretch for time 1. That's Dora. Westview Dixie gets away in the 4 spot. Back in 5. Ocean View Eunomia. And back down trotting but trailing in the 6 spot as they continue past the opening quarter is A Pure Heart. They race into the turn, approaching now the 3/8. Giant Gilroy will dictate the early terms, leading it by a length and a half. In the pocket second as they continue off the top turn. That's Dusty Lane Amber. Followed by Westview Dixie as they move off the top turn and race into the lane. Approaching the half, 29-2 was the opening quarter. Giant Gilroy trotting on the front end. A length and a half is the lead. Second is Dusty Lane Amber. Westview Dixie now looks to the outside. That's Dora in 3. Westview Dixie will stay at the rail in 4. Moving to the outside from 5 is Ocean View Eunomia. They race into the lower turn on their way to the 5/8. The half in a minute and 2/5 seconds. Giant Gilroy opening up on the front end is out there now by 3. Dusty Lane Amber is still trotting second. Dora the outside a third. Inside locked up 4th as they trot through the backstretch. Westview Dixie cutting 3 wide is Ocean View Eunomia is now moving up into 3. They continue into the turn on their way to the 7/8 now. Giant Gilroy is the one to catch. Dusty Lane Amber second. Ocean View Eunomia on the outside is third, gapping out Westview Dixie 4th. They race past the 7/8 and off the top turn. 1:31.4 was the 3/4. They turn for home, and it's Giant Gilroy with the lead. Trotting along in the 2 spot as they drive down the lane now for the final time is Dusty Lane Amber, but Giant Gilroy going gate to wire. Dusty Lane Amber second and third. Ocean View Eunomia. Now back in the winner's enclosure, winner of race 5, Atlantic Siren Stakes Meridian Farms 3-year-old trot, number 4, Giant Gilroy. 3-year-old bay gelded son of Tad the Stud, out of the Dancer's Victory Dam, Ask Me to Dance, is owned and was bred by Merrily Ripley of Amherst, trained and driven by Jim Ripley. Giant Gilroy breaking his maiden, taking a mark of 2:03 and 1/5. Fifth race is official. 1 Dusty Lane Amber second, 2 Westview Dixie fourth, 3 Dora fifth, 4 Giant Gilroy the winner, 5 Pure Heart sixth, and 6 Ocean View Nomia was third. 29 and 2 the quarter, half a minute 2/5, 3/4 in 1:31 and 4, mile in 2:03 and 1/5. Top down 2:45, 1:63. 4:16 try in the fifth. $42.10 for 1 exactor, $21.90. Race 6 coming up, no changes. Post time for the 6th race in 8 minutes. Here are the entries in race 6, the Earl and Phyllis Jameson Memorial. Number 1, Pride of Paradise, Henry Smallwood driving, owned by Cyril Harvey and Robbie Smallwood. Glenview Natalie, the 2, owned by Adam Johnson, Todd Trites aboard. Andrea and Ryder Matthews Renison, owners of 3 Miss Sangria, Dale Spence drives. 4 is PJ Candex, Darren Crow up for Andrea Renison and Ryder Matthews Renison. Albert from post 5, Kirk Paris for the CC Stables. 6 is Don't Tell Mom, owned by Dave Settle, Wallace Cameron, and Anthony Rapshaw. Paul Lange will catch drives. And Mr. Pibb is the 7, Danny Romo for Bob Samara. Race 6 post in 6 minutes. Only 3 minutes to sixth race post time. Last week's 50-50 was not claimed, therefore the $350 will be added to tonight's 50-50 draw. Tickets are still available. The 50-50 draw will take place after the 8th race. Only 2 minutes, 2 to post time. Final call at the windows, less than a minute to post. Sixth race entries are now in the hands of the starter. Home Hardware Building Center starting gates moving. Race 6 of the evening, the Earl and Phyllis Jameson Memorial, has Pride of Paradise, Glenview Natalie, Miss Sangria, PJ Chemdex, Walbert, Don't Tell Mum, and Mr. Pibb. They're off and pacing. PJ Camdex off the gate quick, looking for the lead at the rail. That's Pride of Paradise as they race into the first turn. Pride of Paradise at the rail. PJ Camdex on the outside. Those two battling early as they race by the opening eighth. And that's Pride of Paradise to win the early battle. Backing off, PJ Camdex takes a tuck second. Then getting away third on the inside as they move through the backstretch is Glenview Natalie. Next in line, that's Miss Sangria racing in 4. Looking at it from 5 as they continue past the quarter. That is Walbert, the 6th one away. Was Don't Tell Mom and Mr. Pibb, 7th and sitting at the back of the field. Single file racing to the 3/8 now, and out front, Pride of Paradise is on the front end, leading it by a length and a quarter. In the pocket, that's PJ Camdex on the outside as they move off the top turn. Here comes Miss Sangria in search of the lead. 28-2 was the opening quarter. Proud of Paradise now being engaged by the first over attacker, Miss Sangria, as they check in at the halfway point, sitting in the pocket third. That's PJ Camdex. Walbert captain the cover on the limb is 4th. 5th inside, that is Ocean. As they race into the lower turn is Glenview Natalie. Then on the outside and moving up is Don't Tell Mom and Mr. Pibb is the trailer. 59 seconds flat was the half. It's Proud of Paradise leading it by a neck. Miss Sangria braving it first over, and Miss Sangria moves on to take over the lead. Right on the back second, that's PJ Camdex now racing second. Proud of Paradise is a tiring third. Inside locked up is Walbert at the rail in 4 outside, and uncovered 5th now as they race on to the 7/8 Glenview Natalie. 129 was the 3/4, and with the lead, Miss Sangria, PJ Camdex on the outside. Within a neck is racing second. They turn for home. Miss Sangria, PJ Camdex on the outside second. Then well back third is Proud of Paradise down the stretch. Miss Sangria draws off now to win it. PJ Camdex second. Walbert gets up for third. Back in the winner's enclosure, the winner of race 6, the Earl and Phyllis Jamieson Memorial, number 3, Miss Sangria, 6-year-old bay daughter of Royal Majesty, owned by Ryder Matthews and Andrea Renison. Trained by George Renison, driven by Dale Spence. Miss Sangria, 159 and 3/5. Cooter in race 6 in memory of the late Phyllis and Earl Jamieson, who have had a long and great history in harness racing, with many of their family following in their footsteps. Members of the Jamieson family and friends are gathered trackside to make the presentation in memory of the late Earl and Phyllis Jamieson. Race 6 is official. 1 Pot of Paradise fourth, 2 Glenview Natalie 7, 3 Miss Sangria the winner, 4 PJ Camdex second, 5 Walbury third, 6 Don't Tell Mom 6, and 7 Mr. Pibb fifth. Top down 4-7-1, 2-3-6-5. 28-2 was the quarter. Half in 59, 3/4 in 129, the mile in 159 and 3/5. 3-4-5 try and race 6, 31.50. 3-4 exactor, $6.50. Coming up in the 7th race, Atlantic Sire Stakes 3-year-old trot, no changes. Now upcoming is the first race in the High Maintenance Hair Salon Amateur Driving Series. Now here is the field for that first race in the High Maintenance Hair Salon Amateur Driving Series. From Post 1, Pictonian's Derby is owned by Paisley McCollum and will be driven this evening by Mike McCollum. Donna Wilson owns the 2 K Slater with Anthony Stymist aboard. Gregory Francis is the owner and driver of number 3, Jasmo. Number 4 is I-47, owned by Roy Burton, Todd Hardy in charge. And from Post 5 is Charlie Drummond, owned and driven by Lee Raymond. Amateur drivers and their horses are lining up behind the Home Hardware Building Center starting gate. First division of the High Maintenance Hair Salon Amateur Driving Series has Pictonian's Derby with Mike McCollum, Anthony Stymist aboard K Slater, Jasmo with Gregory Francis, Todd Hardy, I-47, and from Post 5, Charlie Drummond and Lee Raymond. They're off, and as they leave the gate, away quickly, that's Jasmo and Gregory Francis. They drive out to grab the early lead as they race into the first turn. Up at the outside, I-47 with Todd Hardy, and on the extreme outside, 3 wide, Charlie Drummond and Lee Raymond. They're battling for the lead, 3 deep into the backstretch for the first time as they head out of the opening quarter, tucking into the pocket. is Kay Slater, and Anthony Stymons well back in trailing is Pictonian's Derby and Mike McCullum. They're still 3 wide battling for the lead as they race past that opening quarter. It's Todd Hardy in the center with I-47 with a slight lead battling back at the rail as they race into the turn and now approach the 3H, and Jasmo has once again taken the lead for Gregory Francis. 30-1 was that quarter. They move off the turn. Gregory Francis and Jasmo with the lead now as they approach the halfway point. Racing along in the 2 spot, I-47 and Todd Hardy still on the outside, going the long trip. Lee Raymond and Charlie Drummond. Then on the inside, that is Kay Slater and Anthony Stymons biding his time in the 4 spot. And now closing that gap from 5, Pictonian's Derby and Mike McCollum. They race now to the 5/8. And out front, Jasmo is still the leader. A length and a half to lead. Lee Raymond now finding the rails second as they move down the backstretch with Charlie Drummond back to the outside as they race on through the backstretch. That's Todd Hardy and I-47, and looking for room now, that's Kay Slater and Anthony Stymons. They now lift off the rail from 4. 101-1 was the half. They race now to the 7/8. Jasmo the leader. Here comes Anthony Stymons and Kay Slater up on the outside taking aim as they race past the 7/8 and off the top turn. 133-2 was the 3/4. Jasmo, Gregory Francis will now try to fend off Anthony Stymons on the outside with Kay Slater. Those two battling through the stretch. Kay Slater, Anthony Stymons on the outside. Anthony Stymons and Kay Slater up to win it. Second, Gregory Francis with Jasmo, and finishing third, that's Todd Hardy and I-47. Now back in victory lane is the winner of the first race in the high maintenance hair salon amateur driving series, number 2, Kay Slater. 11-year-old round gelding by Rock and Roll Hanover, Obadonna Wilson of Brookside. Trained by Toby McDonald. Anthony Stymons with a neat steering drive behind Kay Slater to win it in 2:05 flat. Seventh race, Atlantic Sire Stakes, Meridian Farms 3-year-old trot. Here's the field. One is Daisy River of Bill Lanigan, Paul Lanigan driving. Larry and Kathy Chappell are the owners. Walter Chevrolet will drive from post 2, Buckaroo. Miss Emerson Ridge from post 3 gets Claire McDonald, owned by Arnold Rankin. John Bros, Mile Hill AJ from post 4. Kenny Arsenault driving. Yoshi Martinovich and Cynthia McDonald, the owners. Corey McPherson will pot it from post 5, Sailor Blue. And the 6 is Never Fear. Danny McDonald driving for Boyd McDonald Produce Limited. Daniel Ross and Devin McDonald. 7th race post in 6 minutes. Only 3 minutes. Only 2 minutes to the post time. Don't forget, Atlantic Grand Circuit Week racing action resumes here tomorrow evening at 6:30. It features the Atlantic Sire Stakes for 2-year-old pacing colts and fillies. Again, post time tomorrow evening, 6:30. And I'll call the wager on the 7th. 1 minute. Home Hardware Building Center starting gate moving up for race 7. It's post time. Seventh race of the evening, Atlantic Sire Stakes, Meridian Farms 3-year-old trot. Daisy River, Buckaroo, Miss Emerson Ridge, Mile Hill AJ, Sailor Blue, and Never Fear. They're off and trotting. That's Buckaroo getting the first call at the rail. And moving out is Daisy River to take a seat in the pocket. Getting away in the 3 spot as they head by the opening 8th and race into the backstretch. That is Mile Hill AJ. Then at the rail, Miss Emerson Ridge emerges in 4, settling in 5 as they start down the backstretch for time 1 is Never Fear, and Sailor Blue is the 6th and trailing one. Single file. Making their way past the opening quarter, Buckaroo is on the lead, leading it by 2. In the pocket, Daisy River trots along in 2, third out the rail, Mile Hill AJ. And looking at it from 4, Miss Emerson Ridge will stay at the rail, starting up on the outside, Sailor Blue, and to the outside to pick up that cover from the back is Never Fear. They race past the 3/8 and continue off the top turn. Opening quarter was trotted in 30 and 3 seconds. They move in front of us now for the first time as they approach the half. And Buckaroo continues on the front end. A 2-length advantage in the pocket. Daisy River first over Advancer. That's Sailor Blue now third. Inside racing fourth. Mile Hill AJ. Outside gap in the cover racing in 5. That is Never Fear, and now Miss Emerson Ridge is the trailer. They continue into the backstretch. The half trotted in 102 flat. And it's still Buckaroo unchallenged on the front end, maintaining a 2-length lead. Daisy River is racing along in a 2. Mile Hill AJ is the third one. Miss Emerson Ridge up into 4. Outside in 5 is Never Fear, and up the back after a miscue with Sailor Blue. They head now to the 7/8. The half was in 102, and opening up on the front end, Buckaroo is now clear by 4. 3/4 in 1:31 and 4. It's Buckaroo out there with a 4-length lead with less than an 8 to come as they make their way home now. And up on the outside, Mile Hill AJ is now second, dropping back at the rail. Daisy River is third. On down the stretch, they're not catching Buckaroo. Buckaroo reporting home a 3-length winner. Mile Hill AJ was second, and third is Daisy River. Operating back in Victory Lane, the winner of race 7, Atlantic Sire Stakes, Meridian Farms 3-year-old trot, number 2, Buckaroo, the gelded son of Tad the Stud. Out of the Keystone Nordic Dam, buckling Banbury. Was bred by William, Brian, and Blake Andrew. Now owned by Larry and Kathy Chappell of Marshfield PEI. Trained by Bo Ford, Walter Chevrolet driving. His second stakes-winning drive of the evening. Buckaroo trotting in 2:01 and 3/5. Roseanne Langell, on behalf of the Atlantic Standardbird Breeders, is trackside to make the presentation. Here is the complete rundown of race 7. Number 1, Daisy River, third. 2, Buckaroo, the winner. 3, Miss Emerson Ridge, fourth. 4, Mild Hill AJ, second. 5, Sailor Blue, 6. And 6, Never Fear, was fifth. 30 and 3, the quarter. Half in 102, 3/4, 131 and 4. And the mile in 2:01 and 3. Top down, 3:14, 2:65. 2:41 try in race 7, 8:60. The 2:4 exactor, 2:90. Eighth race coming up. Number 5, Mortal Kombat, has been scratched. The entry is lame. Post time for race 8 in 8 minutes. Entries on the track for the 8th race. The Cyril Reddy Memorial, number 1, JR's Hurricane. By Jean-Charles Bellevaux, Darren Crow driving. Ernie Laughlin drives from post 2, Go With It, owned by Gordy McCabe. 3 is always Reese, owned by Andrea Renison and Ryder Matthews Renison. Dale Spence driving. Ken Beck is back from post 4, owned by Joe Nearing. Corey McPherson at the helm. 5 is scratched. 6, SF Razzmatazz, owned and driven by Mark Whidden. Co-owner is Barry Whidden. The 7, Dragons Fire, by Peter Jardine and Jenny Berner. Mark Webby aboard. And number 8 is Brookdale Jim, owned by Doug Polly Jr. and Sr. Bert McCollum Drive. 6 minutes. I now have tonight's winning 50-50 number, and it's worth $909. Here's the winning number, 3587311. Again, tonight's winning 50-50 number, worth $909. 3587311. Please note tonight's 8th race, it features superfecta wagering on race 8. Please note there will now be a carryover if there is no winning tickets in the superfecta. Again, there is superfecta wagering on the upcoming 8th. Less than 3 minutes, less than 3. Down to 2 minutes, 2 to post time. Final call at the windows, less than a minute. Last call. It's 8th race post time. Home Hardware Building Center starting gates in motion. Race number 8 of the evening. Top of the stretch has JR's Hurricane. Go with it. Always Race. Canbeck is back. SF Razzmatazz, Dragon's Fire, and Brookdale Jim. They're off and pacing. JR's Hurricane at the rail is away, quick to grab the early lead. Go with it. We'll take a tuck in the pocket second. Always Reese settling out in 3. Next in line, Canbeck is back, racing out of the 4 spot. SF Razzmatazz looks at it from 5. Back on her lead 6th is Dragon's Fire, and at the back is Brookdale Jim. Through the backstretch, single file as they approach the opening quarter. Up front, JR's Hurricane will set the early tempo, leads the way past the quarter. Go with it. In for the 2-hole ride. Next in line, Always Race, pacing 3rd. Then racing along in 4, that's Canbeck is back. Followed in 5 by SF Razzmatazz, closely in 6 now, and looking to the outside, Dragon's Fire, and gapping out at the back of the field is Brookdale Jim. 28-3 was the opening quarter. They swing off the top turn, entering the stretch now as they approach the half, and up front, JR's Hurricane, soon to be joined to the outside by Always Race as they arrive at the halfway mark. Getting a trip in the pocket is Go With It, pacing 3rd. Then Canbeck is back, racing along the rail in 4, 5th inside. That's SF Razzmatazz. Then Dragon's Fire is the 6th one. And at the back is Brookdale Jim, the half, 58 1/5 second. They continue into the backstretch now for the final time, and JR's Hurricane opens up by 2.5. Go With It, reclaiming second. Stalled outside, Always Reese is pacing along in 3 inside, and at the rail in 4. That is SF Razzmatazz. Canbeck is back, second over in 5. Then the 6th one is Dragon's Fire, and Brookdale Jim swings wide from the back. They race on to the 7/8, 3/4 and 1:27, and JR's Hurricane is out there on a 5-6 length advantage as they turn for home. Always Race on the outside, coming back on for second. Then Go With It at the rail is racing 3rd, but it's all JR's Hurricane. JR's Hurricane, an easy gate-to-wire winner here in race 8. Always Reese gets up to finish second, and the show spot will go to SF Razzmatazz. Operating back in victory lane is the winner of race 8, the Cyril Reddy Memorial, number 1, JR's Hurricane. 9-year-old bay gelding by Mach 3 by Jean-Charles Bellevaux of Scoot, New Brunswick. Trained by Jean and driven to victory by Darren Crow, JR's Hurricane in 1:56 3/5. Eighth race in memory of the late Cyril Reddy, the former general manager of the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Commission. He was also a former horse owner and the caucus liaison officer under the John Ham government. Trackside, our friends of the late Cyril Reddy making the blanket presentation to the winner, JR's Hurricane and Darren Crow. Field is on the track and parading for the second division of the High Maintenance Hair Salon Amateur Driving Series. This, the all-female division. Number 1 is Fluid Motion, owned and will be driven by Heather Gaddy. Colby Oikel drives number 2, Dinger 2, owned by Sherry McKinnon. Sydney Parker and Kerry Romeo, owners of 3 4 Stars Hold'em. Sarah Bruce drives. Leaving from post 4 is Mackenzie McGinnis aboard Sandra Stead's Chevalier Semilu. Here is the complete 8th race rundown. 1, JR's Hurricane was the winner. 2, Go With It, 5th. 3, Always Reese, 2nd. 4, Ken Beck is back, 4th. 5 was scratched. 6, SF Razzmatazz, 3rd. 7, Dragon's Fire was 6th. And 8, Brookdale Jim finished 7th. The quarter was 28 and 3. The half 58 and 1. 3 quarters and 127. And the mile 156 and 3/5. Top down in race 8, 152. 4 scratched, 367. 136 try. $180.50. The 1-3 exacta returned $830. Amateur drivers now lining up behind the Home Hardware Building Center starting gate. It's post time. Please note in the 8th race, the superfecta will be carried over. No winning tickets in the super. Next super in race 9. Second amateur drivers, Fluid Motion, Dinger 2, 4 Stars Hold'em, Chevalier Samalu. They're off and pacing. Along the inside, Heather Gaddy with her own Fluid Motion. They drive out looking for the early lead. Sarah Bruce on the outside and 4 Stars Hold'em get away second along the rail and racing away in 3, and now moving up into the pocket as they move by the opening 8th and race into the backstretch now for time 1 as they move on to the opening quarter. That is Dinger 2 and Colby Oracle. And back trailing, that is Chevalier Samalu and Mackenzie McGinnis are trailing the field. They're now single file as the female drivers head on now to the 3/8. Heather Gaddy leads the way aboard Fluid Motion. Out there a length and a quarter. Colby Oracle and Dinger 2 are sitting a tight up second. Sarah Bruce and 3 lengths off, racing in 3 off the top turn with 4 Stars Hold'em and Chevalier Samalu. Mackenzie McGinnis at the back in 4. We'll check that quarter as they move on past the halfway marker. Out front and leading the way is Fluid Motion. Now to challenge. That's Dinger 2 on the outside. Colby Oracle alongside. Those two doing battle now as they head on to the 5/8. Gapping out is Sarah Bruce and 4 Stars Hold'em third. Mackenzie McGinnis still back there in 4. Chevalier Samalu. They race on into the backstretch on their way to the 3/4 and still holding the lead on the inside just slightly. That's Heather Gaddy and Fluid Motion on the outside. Dinger 2 now sticking a snout in front as they race past the 3/4 mile mark. Colby Oracle on the outside and Dinger 2 now lead the way. On the inside, Heather Gaddy is now second aboard Fluid Motion. Then Sarah Bruce back there in 3. That's 4 Stars Hold'em the outside. Mackenzie McGinnis, Chevalier Samalu moving up from 4th. They make the turn for home now, and out front it's Colby Oracle and Dinger 2 as they straighten out down the stretch for the final time. They lead it by 3 lengths, and Colby Oracle aboard Dinger 2 will win the female division of the Amateur Driving Series. Heather Gaddy second with Fluid Motion, and closing up Mackenzie McGinnis third with Chevalier Samalu. Back in victory lane is the winner of the second division of the High Maintenance Hair Salon Amateur Driving Series, the all-female division, going to Dinger 2 and Colby Oikel. Dinger 2, an 8-year-old gelding by Arts Carntrick, owned by Sherry McKinnon of Truro, trained by Al McNeil. And again, Colby Oikel, the winner with Dinger 2. Don Ellis Abbott, trackside on behalf of High Maintenance Hair Salon, making the trophy and blanket presentation to Dinger 2 and Colby Oikel. Here's the order of finish from the 8th race. Number 1, JR's Hurricane, was the winner. To go with it, 5th, 3 Always Reese, 2nd, 4 Canbeck is back, 4th, 5 Mortal Kombat Scratch, 6 SF Razzmatazz, 3rd, 7 Dragons Fire, 6, 8 Brookdale Jim, 7. 28 and 3 was the quarter, the half 58 and 1, 3 quarters in 127, and JR's Hurricane winning in 156 and 3/5. From the top, 152, 4 scratched, 367. 136 try in race 8, $180.50. The 1-3 exactor, $8.30. No winning combinations in the superfecta was sold. Superfecta carried over to race 9. And in that 9th race, it's the Wilson's Home Heating Fillies and Mares Series final. 8 starters in the 9th race. No program changes to report. They go to the gate in less than 9 minutes. Mares on the track for the 9th race. The Wilson's Home Heating Fillies and Mares Series final. Purse of $4,600. Number 1 is Gold Record, owned by Gordy McCabe. Kenny Arsenault driving. PH Powerful is the 2. Todd Treitz out for Hugh McKay. Pia Hanover is the 3, owned by Kevin Dory, Danny Romo, and Ernie Gillen. Danny at the lines. 4 is Prada Spur, owned by Joseph Nearing, with Corey McPherson at the helm. Glenview Paisley from post 5 gets Ernie Laughlin for Ron Harris. Number 6 is Only One Star, owned by Anthony Stymist, Ken Hardy, and Dr. Don Ling, with Toby McDonald at the helm. Charlotte Style, the 7, Paul Angel driving for Devin and Chuck O'Connor. And Grin's Little Flirt is the 8, Robert Laughlin will drive for Craig White. 9th race post in 7 minutes. Here were the fractions for the second race in the amateur driving series. The quarter was 29 and 2, the half 58 and 4. 3/4 was 128 and 3, and the mile dinger 2 and 159 and 4/5. Only 3 minutes. 3 minutes to post time. Don't forget, here in the 9th race, Superfecta wagering. Only 2 minutes, 2 to post time. Final call to wager. On the 9th race, the Wilson's Home Heating Fillies and Mares Series final. They go to the gate in less than a minute. Last call. Fillies and Mares moving up behind the gate for the 9th race. The Wilson's Home Heating Fillies and Mares Series final. Home Hardware Building Center starting gates moving. Ninth race, top of the stretch. Wilson's Home Heating Fillies and Mares Series final. Purse of $4,600. Gold record. PH Powerful. Pia Hanover. Prada Spur. Glenview Paisley. Only 1 star. Charlotte Style and Grins Little Flirt. They're off and pacing away quickly. That's PH Powerful out looking for the early lead. Down at the rail is Gold Record as they race into that first turn. Gold Record at the rail, emerging with the early lead as they head on by the opening eighth on the outside. That is Prada Spur on the limb second, inside and sitting in the pocket. PH Powerful is now moving up second, dropping back. Prada Spur finds room at the rail, racing away in a three on the limb and pacing in fourth. That is Glenview Paisley as they make their way past the opening quarter. It's Gold Record out front showing the way. Glenview Paisley parked out and driving up now in search of the lead as they head out of the 3/8. Down in the pocket is PH Powerful, pacing along in the pocket third. Out the rail in four, that's Prada Spur. To the outside from five is Pia Hanover, followed on the limb in six by Gren's Little Flirt. As they make their way off the top turn, they race into the stretch. 28-3 was the opening quarter. Glenview Paisley up parked out later as they race past the halfway point. Gold Record at the rail is second, out the rail in three and getting a trip in the pocket. That is powerful. As they race into the lower turn, they head on now to the 5/8. Gold Record on the inside has the lead on the outside and racing second and going the long trip. Glenview Paisley on the inside and pacing along in three as they approach the three-quarters is PH Powerful. They race through the backstretch and Gold Record is opened up. And Gold Record is out there leading the way, clear by 4 lengths on the outside, and closing in second, only one star at the rail and racing third as they turn for home. It is Gold Record, three-quarters, 1:27-4, and Gold Record is still there. It's Gold Record to win the Wilson's Home Heating Fillies and Mare Series final, finishing second, only one star. PH Powerful is third. Just note the inquiry sign has been posted here in the ninth race. Judges looking at the racing action going to the three-quarters. Now back in victory lane, the winner of the ninth race, the Wilson's Home Heating Fillies and Mare Series final, number 1 Gold Record. 4-year-old bay daughter of Brandon's Cowboy. Owned by Gordy McCabe, trained by Gordy, and driven to victory this evening by Kenny Arsenault. Gold Record with a new lifetime mark, 1:59 and 1/5. Trackside, on behalf of Wilson's Home Heating, Lee Johnson and his group, From Wilson's are making the equipment presentation to the winner of the series final, gold record in Kenny Arsenault, trainer Gordy McCabe, 1:59.1. Judges deemed there was no violations as a result of the inquiry in race 9. Ninth race is official. 1 Gold Record, the winner. 2 PH Powerful, third. 3P Hanover, fourth. 4 Prada Spurs, 6. 5 Glenview Paisley, 8. 6 Only One Star was second. 7 Charlotte Style, fifth. And 8 Grins Little Flirt was seventh. Quarter 28 and 3. The half 57 and 4. 3 quarters and 127 and 4. The mile 159 and 1/5. Top down 134 68 257. 162 try in the ninth race, returned $252.10. The 1-all exactor, $68.50, and the 20-cent superfecta, 1623, $141.82. Upcoming in races 10 and 11, the late double in the 10th race, 5 Distinctive Rusty. Bridle change closed to open, hood with cups. No 11th race changes. Post time for race 10 in 8 minutes. Horses on the track for the 10th race. 1 is PH Hippie. Todd Treitz driving for Dr. Jim Shive. The 2 is Rusty Roddy, owned by Dana Ghetto and Chantel Gillis, with Paul Langell in charge. Darren Crow's aboard number 3, Catch 22, owned by Sonny Siteman, Charlie Piper, and William Shearer. CC Stables, the owners. Kirk Paris driving from post 4, Stature Sealster. Andrea and Roder Matthews Renison, the owners of 5 Distinctive Rusty, with Dale Spence driving. 6 Badlandia gets Danny Romo for Paula White. And Instant Shadow is the 7 over the Ultimate Stable, and Robert Laughlin will drive. Post time in 6 minutes. Only 3 minutes, 3 to post time. Less than 2 minutes, less than 2 to post. Final call at the windows, down to 1 minute. It's 10th race post time. Home Hardware Building Center starting gate is moving. Race 10 of the evening, the Norm Johnson Memorial has P.H. Hippie, Rusty Riley, Catch 22, Stature Sealster, Distinctive Rusty, Badlandia, and Instant Shadow. They're off and pacing at the rail. P.H. Hippie away quickly on the outside. Stature Sealster. Those two battling for the lead as they race into the first turn. Stature Sealster quickly takes charge. P.H. Hippie gets away to sit in the pocket second. Crossing over, Instant Shadow will find room at the rail in 3. Rusty Roddy emerges 4th, back in 5. Catch 22. Then Distinctive Rusty races away in 6th, 7th, and at the back, Badlandia. They continue past the quarter. Stature Silster out front shows the way, leads it by a length and a quarter. Tied up in the pocket, PH Hippie. Then Instant Shadow is pacing at the rail in 3. Looking at it from 4, that's Rusty Roddy. Catch 22 is the 5th one. Distinctive Rusty has one beaten in the early going. That's Badlandia. 27-4 was the quarter. They move off the turn into the stretch now as they approach the halfway point. Stature Silster continues to chart the path. PH Hippie in the pocket. Now working first over, Instant Shadow 3rd. Rusty Roddy comes off the rail from 4. 5th as Catch 22. Then Distinctive Rusty and still trailing Badlandia into the turn onto the 5-8. Stature Silster is still there on an uncontested 2-length lead as they race into the backstretch. Final time. Second, PH Hippie back 3rd. That's Instant Shadow. Rusty Roddy back to the rail 4th. 57 1/5 second was the half. They arrive now at the 3/4, and it is Stature Silster. There goes PH Hippie up and out of the pocket. They continue on now to the 7/8. Distinctive Rusty, PH Hippie on the outside. Then down to the inside. And pacing 3rd, Instant Shadow. Rusty Roddy back to the outside 4th. Then racing in 5 as they continue off the turn. Catch 22. They turn for home. And Stature Silster is holding the lead. Through the stretch they come. Stature Silster. Instant Shadow is second. Stature Silster wins it. Instant Shadow is second, tight for 3rd. Catch 22 against PH Hippie. Now back in victory lane, the winner of the 10th race, the Norm Johnson Memorial, number 4, Stature Silster, 6-year-old bay gelding by Artistic Fella, over the CC stables of Mendel Sackville. He's trained by Chris Colvin and driven by Kirk Paris. Stature Silster, 157 4/5. 10th race in memory of the late Norm Johnson, who was a lifelong harness racing fan and horse owner. He, along with his cousin Troy, campaigned horses here at Truro Raceway. He owned Dr. Mal, Race on Star, Majestic Amberlin, and most recently Arizona Bucks. Troy is in victory lane to make the blanket presentation. Horses and drivers are now on the track for the third and final Amateur Driving Series race, sponsored by High Maintenance Hair Salon. From post 1 in this third division is Manhattan Express over the Salzburg Stables Incorporated. Sean Baxter driving. From post 2 is Arizona Bucks with Troy Delaney aboard. From post 3 is Electric Sill owned by Andrea Renison and rider Matthews Renison. Rider is aboard. And Cameron McCachran drives the 4 Salzburg Quick for Cindy and Joey Green. They go to the gate in about a minute. Here is the 10th race rundown. 1 PH Hippie finished 4th. The 2 Rusty Rowdy was 6th. 3 Catch 22 finished 3rd. 4 Stature Sealster the winner. 5 Distinctive Rusty 5th. 6 Badlandia 7. 7 Instant Shadow 2nd. Fractions 27 and 4. 57 and 1. 126 and 1. The mile 157 and 4. Top down in race 10. 463 1572. Trifecta in the 10th race, 473. It returned $585.80. The exactors were 4 all, 380. Amateur drivers are now moving in behind the Home Hardware Building Center starting gate. Third and final division of the Amateur Driving Series, Manhattan Express and Sean Baxter, Troy Delaney with Arizona Bucks, Electric Sill, Ryder Renison, and Salzburg Quick with Cameron McCachran. They're off, and as they leave the gate, Electric Sill and Ryder Renison looking for the early lead on the inside. Troy Delaney protecting the rail. That with his Arizona Bucks as they head on by the opening 8th and into the backstretch. Ryder Renison on the outside has a slight advantage on Troy Delaney and Arizona Bucks as they head down the backstretch on their way to the opening quarter. Then out the rail, that is Salzburg Quick. Cameron McCachran is racing along in 3. Back there in 4, Manhattan Express and Sean Baxter. They race on over to the 3/8, the quarter in a quick 28 and 1/5 second as they make their way off the top turn. That's Troy Delaney with Arizona Bucks with the lead as they move off the top turn. Getting a parked out second trip is Ryder Matthews Renison, and on the outside with Electric Sill. Down in the pocket, Cameron McCachran and Salzburg Quick getting a good journey in the pocket, moving up into 2. And back there in 3 is Manhattan Express with Sean Baxter into the lower turn. They head on now over to the 5/8. And out front, it's Arizona Bucks in control. Troy Delaney in the seat. 58 seconds flat was the half. There goes Salisbrook Quick with Cameron McCacken on the outside. They drive up now to take over the lead as they approach three-quarters. Cameron McCacken and Salisbrook Quick on to the lead by 2 lengths now as they arrive at three-quarters. That's Troy Delaney, Arizona Bucks back in at 2. Ronnie Matthews Runnison and Electric Sailor third, and Sean Baxter with Manhattan Express back fourth. Three-quarters in 1:28 and 3. They move past the 7/8 and off the top turn. Cameron McCacken opening up on the front end, clear by 5 expanding lengths as they turn for home with Salisbrook Quick. Back second, Troy Delaney and Arizona Bucks. Now on for third, Sean Baxter and Manhattan Express, but Cameron McCacken wins it with Salisbrook Quick. Second, Troy Delaney, Arizona Bucks, and third, that's Sean Baxter with Manhattan Express. Mile in 1:58 and 3. Operating back into victory lane, the winner of the third division of the High Maintenance Hair Salon Amateur Driving Series, number 4, Salisbrook Quick. 12-year-old brown gelding by Quick Comeback, owned by Cindy and Joey Green of Truro, trained by Joey Green. Driven a victory by Cameron McCacken. Salisbrook Quick pacing in 1:58 3/5. Horses on the track for the 11th and final, number 1 Life in the Country, owned by Jamie and Linda Ramsey. Corey McPherson driving. 2 Western Scott gets Paul Angel for Arlene Gillis. 3 is NS Acadian, owned and driven by Robbie Smallwood. The 4 Shadow Phil, owned by Steve Morton, Dale Spence up. Flag of Honor, the 5, Todd Trites for Dave Settle. 6 Putnam's New Year, Kenny Parker Jr. will drive, owned by Linda and Leslie Parker. The 7 Articulate Barb, owned with Joe Nearing and Joe Poirier. Joe driving. That's Poirier. 8 Pick and Scoop, Toby McDonald for Don Anderson. Post time in 7 minutes. Draw your attention now down to Victory Lane. Don Ellis Abbott, on behalf of High Maintenance Hair Salon, making a special presentation of gifts to all the competitors in tonight's amateur driving series. They put on quite a show, going some quick miles here this evening. And special congratulations to our race winners, Anthony Stymus, Colby Oikel, and Cameron McCacken. Our amateur drivers put on quite a show here this evening, and a special thank you to High Maintenance Hair Design, our salon, for their continued support of the amateur driving series. The winner of tonight's 50-50 draw was Geraldine Johnson. Only 3 minutes to post time. 3 minutes to 11th race post. Just a reminder, there is super effective wagering on the 11th and final. Less than 2 minutes, less than 2. Final call to wager on the 11th, 1 minute. It's 11th race post time. Home Hardware Building Center starting gate moving up. Eleventh and final dash of the evening. Life in the Country, Western Scott, NS Acadian, Shadow Phil, Flag of Honor, Putnam's New Year, Articulate Barb, and Pick and Scoop. They're off and pacing on the inside. Life in the Country away looking for the early lay. Driving out that Shadow Phil on the outside, and Shadow Phil drives on and takes over the lead as they race out of the opening eighth. Up on the outside and pacing second, Putnam's New Year on the inside, and away third, Life in the Country. Then setting in fourth, that is Western Scott as they move down the backstretch. Away in five on the inside for NS Acadian. They continue past the opening quarter. And it's Shadow Phil out front leading the way. Putnam's New Year drives up into the pocket. Then Life in the Country looks at it from 3, holding down 4. Western Scott and Acadian 5th outside. Articulate Barb caught on the live in 6th as they continue by the 3/8 and off the top turn. 27-3, a brisk opener as they continue off the top turn, racing through the stretch, approaching the half. And Shadow Phil is in control as they race on past the halfway marker. In the garden spot, second, that is Putnam's New Year. Looking at it from 3, Life in the Country. Then 4th, on the inside, Western Scott. 5th, and racing at the rail as they continue on past the 5/8 and onto the backstretch. And Acadian outside, and looking at it from 6 is Articulate Barb. On down the backside, final time, Shadow Phil, the one to catch. Putnam's New Year is the next closest pursuer. And moving on the outside in 3, Western Scott out the rail. Life in the Country is 4th. Then the fifth inside in Acadian. Articulate Bar outside in 6. Back in 7 is a Flag of Honor. And at the back of the field, Pick and Scoop, 127 and 3 was the 3/4. They move past the 7-8 Shadow Phil. Starting to get leg weary on the front end. On the outside, Western Scott is closing in. Putnam's New Year is sitting in the pocket. They turn for home. Shadow Phil clings to the lead. Putnam's New Year on the inside, outside, Western Scott. Shadow Phil, Western Scott up to win it. Shadow Phil second, third is Putnam's New Year. Back in victory lane, the winner of race 11, the Dick Driscoll Memorial, number 2 Western Scott. 8-year-old Bay Gelding by Western Paradise. So by Arlene Gillis of Truro, trained by Joe Gillis, driven by Paul Angel. Mile in 2 minutes and 2/5. Quarter in race 11 in memory of the late Dick Driscoll, who was a long-time race fan and proud owner of the invitational horse Onaway, who was campaigned by Frank Daniels in the 1960s. He passed on his love of the Standardbred game to his family, his daughter Roseanne and her husband Dwayne, along with sons Keith and the winning driver here in tonight's 11th race, Paul. Roseanne, Dwayne, Keith, and Paul have 11 horses at their farm in Lower Onslow. The winner of the Dick Driscoll Memorial, Western Scott and Paul Angel in 2 minutes, 2/5. 11th race is official. 1 Life in the Country, 8 to Western Scott the winner, 3 on Acadian fourth, 4 Shadow Phil second, 5 Flag of Honor sixth, 6 Putnam's New Year third, 7 Articulate Barb fifth, 8 Pick and Scoop seventh. 27 and 3 the quarter, half 57 and 1 3 quarters, and 127 and 3 in the mile, 2 minutes 2 fifths. The top 814 263 57. 246 try in race 11, 191.20. The daily double 4-2 combination, $1 ticket, $12.25, and the 2-4 $1 exactor, $75.10. The superfecta will be carried over to tomorrow evening. Don't forget, live harness racing action resumes tomorrow evening at 6:30. Featured on tomorrow evening's card, the Atlantic Sire Stakes for Truro Pacing Colts and Fillies.